I know that we got a lot of weather going on in Houston, lightning storms. I know my internet hiccuped earlier. If this goes down, then if I'm not back in about 3 minutes, then we will call it a night on power hour just because of the storm that's coming through. So I know a couple people have been knocked out. I know we got an event going on tonight for a PBR, and I know we've got a landmark for quite a few folks. So we'll have a light crowd, but I'm still going to do the power hour because I want to be able to get this information out and have it recorded so that everybody can review it. So welcome, everybody. Glad you're all here. Welcome to a new month, May 2nd, Thursday, May 2nd of 2019. And just like that, 1/3 of the year is in the books already. So crazy how fast that can go and how quick time flies, right? It's nuts. And what's interesting is time flies, but at the other side of it, if I think back on the year so far, I'm astounded by how much has happened in the last 5 months. It's incredible. I know, especially in my life and all the changes going on and with this team, it's been incredible to watch. Just an absolute metamorphosis has occurred for a lot of folks, and a lot of folks have not had any change at all. And one of the things that that makes this all worth it for me is seeing the impact that it makes. And when impact's not happening, it drives me. It fires me up. It gets me wanting to go back to the drawing board and figure out where is it not operating at ultimate efficiency. And one of the things that has been becoming real clear, and Mr. Pinso and Mr. Jones touched on it on Monday, is it's the action, it's the activity. It doesn't matter how great the airplane is. If you don't put fuel into the airplane, it's just a big old hunk of metal that sits there, rusts, and falls apart over time. And so it's got to be used to be worthwhile. And it's like potential. People are so funny when they'll come into this business. They'll say, "Oh, I got this person in there. It's done. It's so done. We just need this one person and it's done." And what that is potential. And there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential that's out there. The issue is nobody really cares about potential. They care about the result. Did somebody actually do something with that potential? And one of the key things is getting a human being to take action. And for the longest time, and why I think people like Power Hour so much, is that when we sit here, it reminds us of that nice, comfortable thing that we did for at least 12 years, some of us less, some of us more, sitting in school and being taught how to be educated. Well, it wasn't really about education. It was about getting somebody to be docile. It's about getting somebody to follow the rules and follow what their superiors tell them to do so that they can go out and work real well in factories. Interesting, huh? And that's how it was done. That's how the education system was built. And it wasn't to teach you, they don't teach you about money. They don't teach you that at all. One of the most simple, basic things, and it's not taught. You got to go out and find that. What was I don't remember the quote specifically, was basically along the lines of, when you go to school, you're not going there to learn. It's to teach you some other things, but it's not teaching you how to think. It's teaching you, the basic rules. So taking a step back in time and looking at what we've got from a perspective of the Jade Factory has got something that's truly, truly special. And its big secret, as I continue to work on this and continue to refine this, its biggest secret of why it's so successful is this simple fact of, we have a conversation with people. And when we have that conversation with somebody, it's about asking them if they want to fix whatever problem it is that came up in the conversation. That's the big secret. The big secret is actually having a conversation. And when you get the information out of that conversation, it's making sure that you have the other person's permission to be able to fix it. That's the big secret. That's one of the biggest, hugest, grandest things in its simplicity and its ability to connect with people. You can literally sit there with this business. You can literally have a conversation with somebody, and if you'll literally just keep your mouth shut, they'll fill in the blanks. They'll tell you everything that's going on. And if you'll just be there with that, and if you can have that staring contest and sit there quietly longer than them, they will keep talking. They will keep telling you everything. And if you'll just spit right back out to them what it is you just heard them say, you're the greatest conversationalist that they've ever met. And the reason for all that is how you're going to make them feel. There's a poet, I think it's, was it Angelo that said it, where nobody remembers what you said, nobody remembers what you did. All they remember is how you made them feel. That's all they'll remember. And if you can make them feel that they were listened to and understood, that connection that you make with somebody, that's the big secret of what we do. And we talk about this in Power Hour, and Power Hour is built to talk about it. It's built for a speaker or two or three or however many to be in one of these little boxes, bumping our gums, and for you guys to be able to receive that information. And that's what this whole mechanism is here for. But we're missing a part. And I realize this, and we've talked about it a couple times, and I've been working on and have had some good chats with some of my inner circle in the organization, Brian being one of them, David Jones being another. Mentioned a little bit, talked over briefly with Eddie and a couple of others. And I'm going to be rolling this out here soon. I'm going to get it not completely. I'm going to get it a little bit more refined because I got two little things I need to nail down. But once I get that nailed down, I'm going to offer basically a course. And the highlight of it is it's going to be a course that is different than anything else. And it's going to be a pure action course. And it's going to be a follow-up of making sure that action is occurring. Because we can sit here and talk about it all day, but if the action isn't taken with the information, it's more potential. I'm giving you potential energy. I'm giving you potential information that you could go do some absolutely massive things with it. And a lot of you are, and I'm not just talking to the group here tonight because you guys are here, but a lot of people that will see this recording later because of their time schedules and different time zones and different work schedules. But that's the reason that we record all of this. But the key to it is if you're going to take this and actually make use of it, it's going to be insane. Mark has been taking action with it. He's getting comfortable with what we've been doing, and I see the action occurring, and I see the train starting to move the wheels just a little bit, just coming off of that inertia of not moving. To be able to get it to move a little bit requires a tremendous amount of energy and effort and force. And I commend you on that, and I see that happening. And then once that train starts catching a little movement, it gets on going. Betty, I've seen it with her. I've seen you just take this and just, it takes so long to get it pushed out of the station, and then you do, and then it's like, oh man, this is kind of cool, and you get going, and then it's just a matter of refining it. And you've been doing that, and you're seeing the results of that, not as fast as you want, I know, but it's moving. And that's huge because you're taking action. Eddie, watching the transformation that he's gone through, it's just incredible. And it went from how do I move this big old heavy train and you get it moving. Jamie, same thing. In the beginning, it was just, how do I get it moving? And then it got moving, and then it slows down a little bit. And how do I keep the train moving? And Michelle, she, that train was stuck for the longest time. And then all of a sudden she came back in here, and it's like she was running at 800 miles an hour and hit that train, and that sucker is moving, and it's moving and it's moving. And all of that is about action. It's all about moving. So when you watch this, I love doing Power Hour. I love sharing the information. It's a bonding experience. It gets people into it. It's better than Netflix for a lot of you. And then for others, Netflix is more enjoyable to them. And that's absolutely fine with me. I'm absolutely good with it. If you're going to come to this, though, I want you to get results. The only way you're going to get results off of the information that I share and that everybody else that gets on here shares is by putting it into action. And I can talk about it even more about putting it into action, and all we're doing is talking about it some more. So the key has to be truly taking action. So what I'd like to do tonight, right now, is I want everybody on the line, I want you to be able to move the choo-choo train just a little bit. And I want to show you how to do that. And what I'm going to do is continue to build on this. And I'm not going to make this session just about that. I want Power Hour to be what Power Hour is, which is getting some very powerful information out. But I also want to give you some of the tools so that you see how to actually use this thing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take action. And I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot. I'm simply going to tell you guys, grab your phone right now and find Messenger on your phone. And if you don't have Messenger on your phone, I want you to put in the chat session that you don't have it. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you do. So on your phone, you're looking for an app called Messenger. It's got the little lightning bolt. Let's see if I can get mine on there. All right, mine's got a little number on it, but a little hard to see on there. And you can also do this from your computer, but most of you will probably be on your device looking at me, but maybe you're not. Maybe it's swapped back around. And I want you to go to Messenger and to the main home screen. And on the bottom of it, down on the bottom, mine has 3 little icons. It's got like a little chat session. It's got 2 little people with a number and a plus sign, and then like a little compass type thing. I want you to click on that middle button where it has 2 little people, and then it's got a number with a plus sign. Mine's in green. I don't know what yours are, what your settings are. I see some of you are driving, so obviously, so don't do that. My Messenger app doesn't work if I'm on Zoom. That's interesting. It should. There should be no reason, but if not, no problem. When this ends, then I would like for you to still take the action that we're going to do right now. But when you click on that, it's going to pop up, and what it's going to do is it's going to show you the people that are active. Okay, so mine shows, add to your story, and then just below that it says active, and then it'll have the people in your list. Oh, it freezes up. You got too many things running. Okay, that makes sense. It's got a list of all the people that are active, and it'll put those people in there based off of your friends list, and then how long it's been since they've been active, I think is kind of the order that it goes in. And what I want you to do is and this is the key part. This is where immediately people's terrorists will jump on board, and I want you to just go ahead and be aware of it, get rid of it, and let's just get this thing done. But I want you to scroll down on here until you reach the first person on your list that's not already in Kyani, okay? And when you see that, I want you to, if you would, type that in or just unmute yourself and tell me what that person's name is. So feel free to just jump in there and get after it. Just let me know who's that first person that's active in that list that's not in Kyani.
I have Mary Carmen Valdez.
Mary, perfect. So do you know Mary off the top of your head? Do you know who that is?
I know exactly who she is.
Okay, cool. And because it's going to happen where sometimes that person's not going to be somebody's like, who the hell is this? But that's perfect. So Mark, can you give us a quick little synopsis about Mary?
Yeah, she is the sister of one of my very good friends. I taught her how to play the drums for a very short time. So, we have some rapport between each other. We have we know each other pretty well.
Cool. Very good. All right. Excellent. Now let's take it to the next step. Do you know anything about her with regards to what it is that we do in the Kyani business? Is she looking for health, wealth, time, or significance, or do you know?
I have no idea. Perfect. I haven't had a conversation with her in quite some time.
Okay. Well, perfect. All right. So, Mark, are you up for working with me on this?
Sure. Why not?
Love it, man. And I love that attitude, and I love how we're doing it. So, Mark, what I want you to do is on that, I want you to click on that person's name. And when you do, it should load up a screen. And on that screen, it's going to be the last chat that you've had, or at least it's a screen that it's the conversation with with Mary. Do you have anything in that chat?
Yeah, from the last time that we talked.
How long ago was that? What was the date on that?
That was 2 years ago.
Cool. All right. So it's been a little while, right?
Yeah, it's been a little while.
All right. So now if Mark comes in here and goes, Mary, oh my goodness, I need to tell you about this thing I'm doing. If he did that right now, how do you think Mary would respond to that? Anybody got any thoughts on that?
I think she would ignore me.
Probably be kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
So, what would be the normal thing if you were walking in HEB and all of a sudden you see Mary 20 feet in front of you? What would you do in that situation?
Ask her how she's been, how's her family doing, how her
Cool.
kids are.
Awesome. So, three things come immediately to his mind.
Yep.
Okay. So, here's what I'd like for you to do, Mark, is I'd like for you to send her a message and type in exactly what you just said.
All right.
And do it however you would do it in whatever language you would use if you were walking through. And for y'all that are not in the Houston or Texas area, HEB is our grocery store and my grocery store of choice. So
I'm putting in here, hey, Mary, how's it going? How have you been? I see on Facebook your daughter just had a birthday a couple months ago. So how's the family? That's what I'm going to put.
Perfect. Now, and when you get done with that, let me know when you send that. When you hit send, go ahead and read it back to us what you had sent to her.
All right, so I sent, hey, Mary, how's it going? How have you been? I see on Facebook your daughter had a birthday a couple months ago. How's the family?
Sweet. Very good. Awesome. All right, Mark, this is the important part of what we're doing right now. So, and you got to do this just right. So grab 2 fingers, hold them up in the air for me real fast. All right, put them right here. Do you feel something happening?
I just feel my pulse beating.
Sweet. He's still alive, everybody. He lived through it. Nobody died. We don't call nobody. Everybody made it. Everybody came out alive there. So I'm making a whole lot of fun. And Mark, thank you so much for playing with me. And I want to recap on what I just did. There's a little document, very special document that we use that most of you should know about, and it's called the Plan on a Page. And the plan on a page simply has a list of all the things at the top and a little box called your desires on what it is you want to do. And then the next thing it has is a name spot. And so he can write in there, Mary. And then the next spot it has is a bio section. And in that bio section, he can write in there, sister of a friend, taught her drums, daughter just had birthday a couple months ago. And when he was doing that, he was getting himself primed and he was getting himself out of his own nonsense and out of his own head. And he went down into his heart and he reached out to another human being as if he was walking up to him in the grocery store. And instead of ducking and running and cutting down the first aisle that he sees and go hauling ass to the bathroom, what he did is he walked straight to that person and he basically embraced that person and said, how the heck have you been? That right there is what we do. And more importantly, that's what was just done. Now what I'd like for you all to do is to take that action and do the exact same thing that Mark just did. And Mark, what I want you to do is you're one up on everybody. I want you to go to the next person in your list that's not in Kayani. And I want everybody to do the exact same thing. Is everybody on board for this, or does anybody have any issues with this, what they're running into, or any obstacles? Eddie's got Larry. It looks like he's reaching out too. You posted something on there. Okay, good. Betty, who do you have on yours?
Just a minute. I have Jay Fraser.
Jay, okay.
And I met her online, and she lives in New Brunswick. She lives down east, and she's struggling with bipolar. I sent her some videos on Kayani, and then she said she signed into level LE-VEL, or yeah. And then she said the last thing she said is that she's got bipolar. She's trying these are patches that go on you with like different vitamins in them. And she her last quote was, she's just giving in to depression because she can't beat it.
Okay. Cool. How long ago was that?
April 26th.
All right. So it's been a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So this is a little bit different situation, simply in the fact that a conversation has already gotten started with the intent of finding out what they've got going on. She's further along in the path of identifying what this person's got going on, whereas Mary, that Mark was chatting with, hadn't gotten that far, and he didn't really know, so he's just rekindling the conversation. So with Betty's person, with Jay, what she's going to want to do here is just check in and see how she's doing. She wants to have one more conversation with this person. So Betty, what if you just ran into Jay and she happened to be at the grocery store that you were at and you saw her, what would you say now in this situation?
I say, hi, Jay, how are you? And how are you feeling? The last time that we had a conversation.
Hold on a quick second. Let me interrupt you. Are you going to say all that stuff when you walk up to her in the grocery store, or are you going to pause and take a breath in there and just ask those
I'll
first?
take a breath in there, yeah. I let her reply, right? Yeah.
That's it. And this happens a lot, right? When you guys are doing this, you start, man, you are motoring through, you're running through that train station and you are moving trains and pushing stuff out of the way and all kinds of craziness is going on. So slow it down on this and just keep thinking, what would I do at the grocery store if I saw Jay? And send that out to her.
Okay. So I'd say, hi, Jay, how are you doing?
Sounds good. Cool.
And then I would just ask
And
her.
then you would wait until she says something back, right?
Yep. And then she said, like her last text, she says, I've given into depression.
Betty, this is being in the dump truck right now. This is such a good thing.
Okay.
I want you to recognize. I want you to think about you're sitting in a dump truck, brand new dump truck, little weird driving this dump truck. All right, Betty, you're driving it. Okay, I'm in the passenger seat. Okay, and what I'm going to do is we're driving this dump truck. I just stood on the brake. Right. I interrupted you. I didn't ask anything. I stood on the brake and I stopped us. Right. And the reason I did that is you were going too fast and we were getting ready to run through that intersection. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to stop it. I want you to stop the dump truck a little bit, take a little break, stretch your neck out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get going again, but not on that conversation. There's nothing else that you need to worry about, think about, do nothing more with Jay. Because here's the deal. Until she replies, everything you do is going to be wasted energy.
Okay. Yes, it has been. Yes. Okay.
Because you're working your brain, man. That sucker is going 800 miles an hour, but we got a red light right now. It ain't time to drive yet. And you're thinking about all the craziness that's going to happen. And what you could be doing is we could be reaching out to the next person on your list.
Oh, okay. So I'm spending too much time on those kind of people.
You're spending too much time, and let me make a clarification. I want you to spend a lot of time when the light's green, but right now the light ain't green, so you did what you're going to be able to do. And if you sit there and you keep going through all these what ifs, that's your terrorist sitting here talking and you're making stuff up. There's no conversation to be had right now. Well, she says this, I'm going to say that. Well, if she says this, I'm going to say that. She says that, I'm going to say this. It's an infinite number of possibilities that can happen on what she replies with next, right?
Okay.
We have no idea what she's going to say.
No.
She might come back and say cowabunga. Maybe maybe there's a helium leak in her wherever she's living, and it makes her a little loopy, and she starts just coming up with crazy nonsense. She replies back. There is no way of knowing what she's going to say next. So any effort that you spend on that going forward, you guys you're knocking yourself out of the game. You're tired as all get out after you send one text, and then you sit there and think about and spin. It's like your tires are literally smoking. You're holding on the brake because there's nowhere to go because it's a red light, and you've got your foot on the gas at the same time, and you're just spinning the wheels, and you're taking all the tread off your tires.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
So what you want to do on that one is we're done with that one. So now what I want you to do is I want you to move to the next one. Who's the next person in your list, Betty?
Okay. Just oh, okay. Rosina, she is from Calgary. I met her at Diamond University.
Is she already in? She's already in Kayani?
No, she was a waitress where I was at, and she has a lot of pain. And she went to the Philippines, and so she said she'd be back on the 29th. So I texted her. I said, hi, how are you doing? How was your holiday to the Philippines? And I haven't heard from her since.
Okay. Betty, are you on where it shows a list of all your conversations?
Yeah.
Down at the very bottom of that,
yeah,
you see a little icon where it's got a couple of people?
Yeah, I got 45 down there.
Push that button.
Okay.
Now you see another list, don't you?
Right.
And this doesn't have the conversation.
Right.
So that's where I want everybody to be. And I caught on to that because she was telling me in reverse order the conversations that she just had. This is another thing as an observation for everybody. And thanks for sharing that, Betty. And this isn't a bad thing. It's just something I want to observe for everyone, is that y'all will get into a window of about 15 people and you will keep jacking with these same 15 people and there's nothing going on. You sent out something to her, which was awesome. She said she was going to be back. You followed up with her. That's great. You checked in on her to see how she's doing. Red light. She hadn't come back and said nothing, right?
Right.
Now, that doesn't mean that we leave it at a red light forever. Michelle, that was pretty funny. That doesn't mean we're going to be a red light forever.
Okay.
But you just sent that. And right now, sounds like it might be a good time to wait just a little bit longer, or just check in with her. Say, hey, just want to find out, did you get stuck in the Philippines or did you make it back? My point is, don't just keep going back into the same ones over and over again.
Okay. Yeah, then the other one I had was Vanessa. And she was at the pharmacy. She's a pharmacy assistant, and she said she had so much pain and she wanted to fix it. She had migraines. She wanted a business so she could have a home business. So I had products, so I gave her a 7-day trial. And when I went in last week, I asked how she was doing, how her pain was. She said it was still there. So I said, how did you enjoy the products? She hadn't taken them yet.
Cool. What did you say?
I said, oh, I was shocked. I said, oh, and why haven't you? And she said, I've been busy with my kids and I forgot them at work. And she just went on and on and on. And I said, well, I guess you really don't want to fix it.
Is that what you said?
Yep.
You said that to her?
I did.
What'd she say?
She said, well, I do, but she says, I just don't have time right now.
Don't have time to take the product? Or yeah. I'm sorry.
Don't have time to take the product because she's got other things going on with her young kids. So
cool. What did you say to that?
I said, well, when is a good time when we could have some time, or 15, 20 minutes, so that I could have a 3-way information session so that I could give you more information on the products. And she said, oh, no, then it'll be high pressure sales.
Cool. And then what happened?
And then she got busy with another customer came in, and I said, well,
did you get the samples back from her?
Nope, I left them. I said, take them this week and I'll follow up on like tomorrow.
Okay. Next time when that happens,
yep,
take the damn product back.
Okay. Because she's a dead end too, right?
Oh my God. Yes. I mean, you don't have time. You're in all this pain. This, that, and the other's happening. And you're gonna say that you don't have time to take a product. This is where you can channel your inner Casey and you can tell her, piss off.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And then grab the product and put it in your purse and storm out. Seriously. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just don't put up with that. Because if you go anywhere other than that, what's going to happen is going to start chewing on you. It's going to start eating on you, Betty. It's going to start making you doubt yourself on the next person. Because this person, all we need to do is just put them in the ground, put some dirt over them. They're already dead inside. They don't want to do anything with it. They just want to bitch and complain. And you tried everything on that. And she's basically saying it's going to be a high pressure. No, lady. Give me a break.
Right.
Take
Yeah.
the stuff and
Okay.
march on out. Because here's what, and here's what, not to be right. I could care less about you being right in the situation. I care about the next person that's waiting on you that actually wants to fix it. I need you to be in a state of mind, ready to do battle with the next terrorist so that you can help the person that terrorist is holding hostage.
Yeah, because I got 10 people like that I've been working with to get products, and then I feel incompetent.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm telling you, I want you to tell the next person that does that, I want to see it on the news in Houston. Cute little old lady comes up to the lady and tells her to piss off and takes her stuff back. I want to see that on the news.
Okay.
All right. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I want you to get fired up, Betty. I want you to get fired up because I can see the effect it's having on you. And you bottling that up and you're keeping that inside, and that's tough. And you got those 10 people. Guess what? There's a couple billion that are still waiting on you.
Yeah, and then I had a couple of people that were for business partners, and I was going to put them in front of Jake and whatever, and I kept digging further and further. Then they said, well, they didn't have the money. Can you do it? And then I found out it was a scam. So, yeah, so I've had some experiences lately. Yep. So, now, but I don't give up. I go out and still meet people every day. But
I know you do. Now, here's the deal. I need you to, again, we just ran into a tree, Betty, with our dump truck, all right? The fender got a little dented just now. But here's the deal. You can't stop this dump truck. You just knocked that tree. I mean, we uprooted that tree. That tree is jacked right now, right? Dump truck still works, right? Yep. Good.
Thank you.
So now what I want you to do is I want you to pause and I want you to go to the next one in the list because that's Vanessa that we were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
All right. Put a big old X on Vanessa. The only reason I want you to reach back out to her is to get your product back. And don't forget, you have to tell her, piss off. Okay?
Right.
All
yeah,
right,
I see her on Tuesday when I go pick up my meds for the holidays, right?
Good.
So
excellent. So then, was Vanessa on there's Betty, I want you to understand this part. There's two parts to Messenger that we've talked about tonight. There's
right.
the regular page that shows all the conversations that you've had.
Right.
And then when you push that button on the bottom, it takes you to another page, and that's going to have all the people that are active. Was Vanessa on that second page?
Yeah, she was there, and yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
so now what I want you to do, skip her. We're done with her. We're going to move to the next person.
Okay.
Who's the next person?
Jamie Woods.
Jamie?
Yeah. And right. she has pain, but she's having surgery in May. She didn't want to try it, but she wanted the business part of it. She wanted health and wealth and more time to be able to spend with her family.
Here's what I want you to do. If you saw her in the grocery store right now, what would you say to her?
I saw her yesterday at the bank, and I just said, "Hi, how are you doing?" And she said, "Not bad." I said, "Have you got a time for when you've got your surgery booked?" And she said it was postponed. So, but then she had another customer behind. She couldn't talk about it. So I just left. So I haven't done
absolutely. So if you saw her at the bank and that was yesterday and you see her at the grocery store today, what would you say to her if you ran into her? Would you just wave at her and then turn down an aisle? Would you go up and say hi? What would you say to her?
I just say, since your surgery's got postponed, would you be able to be, or
Betty, if you were walking in the grocery store and you saw her, is that the first thing that you would say to her?
No, I would just say, "Hi, how are you?"
Ah, there we go. All right.
Yeah, hi.
See how easy that is?
Right.
Cool. All right. What's the next one after Jamie? You muted out, Betty.
Audrey. She has her son has sugar diabetes. And so we talked about that. She's a cashier at IGA, but she said she didn't want to try it at this time because the doctor put him on some new medication, and that they were going to try that first before they.
When's the last time you talked to him?
Pardon?
When's the last time?
I talked to her on Monday at the store.
Okay.
And I said hi.
If you saw her at the grocery store, what would you say today?
I just say, "Hi, Audrey, how are you doing?" Or "Hi." Cool. And then how is your son doing with his diabetes, right? And then
sure. Absolutely.
And then I say, how is the products working for him, or how's he doing? And then I'd have to wait for a response from her, right? So.
Yeah, and I think you said about 3 things, and I don't think you would have walked up to somebody and hit them with 1, 2, 3 punches. I think you just go up and say hi to them, right?
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah.
How does that feel when you send that out to them?
Oh, good. Yeah, I just said hi. Yeah, I said hi to a few of them here.
Cool. Everything feeling good?
Yeah, it is.
You feel a little bit of calm right now that you didn't feel a minute ago?
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
Good. So here's the lesson, and thank you for going through this with me, because you're making a unbelievable point to a lot of others, and I think you're starting to get a little bit of it too, is don't overthink it.
Right.
And also, don't be so worried about getting from point A to point B in one big hop.
Okay.
Because what's happening is, I don't think you're having conversations the way that you're talking here. I think what's happening is, when you're out there, I want to make sure, yes, we want to make it in that general vicinity, but we don't need to get from point A to point B in 1 or 2 steps.
Okay.
Or maybe we do get there in 1 or 2 steps, but we don't force it. And don't get so worried about what the next thing is going to be said, and don't be so focused, because when you were saying some of the things that you would say to them, you were in your own head. Okay. You weren't present with me when that was happening. You weren't having a conversation with me. You were trying to think of the right answer of what you would say to them. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and you hear them talking, but you can tell they're not tuned into you?
Yes.
It's like they kind of go into like a little weird state, and they're just speaking to an audience, and you're like, who the hell are you talking to? I'm right here, man. You have that feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's so imperative when you guys are having these conversations to just have the one statement we're going to do right now until we hit the red light and we got to wait for traffic to cross. We need them to come back, say some stuff. We get singularly focused, and you know what? Screw all this other traffic going through here. You honk the horn and you barrel through the intersection, because we got to get from here to over there in our dump truck. Traffic be damned, right? And we're going into this intersection. And when we're going in that intersection, we got blinders on. We're not looking left. We're not looking right. We're not having a true conversation. We're just thinking about, we're here, we got to get to there, and I need to get all this stuff out so I can get to this destination.
Okay. Yeah, because tomorrow I have 5 ladies at a trauma healing session. So I'm not sure how to do all of that right now. Just say hi to all of them and find out, because I know the one lady's in pain, but she's waiting for her husband's check to.
You just did it again.
I did it again.
You did it again.
It was a trauma healing, right? How do I?
It's tomorrow. It's not right now.
Oh, right. Yes.
You're worrying about something that's getting ready to happen that hasn't happened yet.
Right.
And I understand why you have the anxiety, because you don't feel comfortable doing this. It's like, what am I going to say? That's too much going by. And then in the absence of all of that, it's basically like the bad cartoons where you've got a bad driver and they got to cross the street and they're not quite sure what to do, and traffic's going, and then they just look this way and they look that way and they just go, sorry, everybody, and they just slam on the gas and they're going through, and we're going to find out what happens. And maybe you get lucky and you cross, and sometimes there's some body parts going everywhere. So I will commend you on the fact that you're just like, we're going, this is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to do something. I love that. I love that. So now, while I'm in this dump truck with you, you're not driving this thing by yourself. I want to make sure you understand that, because right now we can drive this dump truck together because you've got control of this little fella right here, and I'm right here with you.
Right.
All you got to do is, you're over here messing with tomorrow. I want you to find somebody to chat with right now.
Okay.
So let's move down to one more, and then we'll move on. So who's the next person on your list?
Oh, just have to bring my phone up here. Just hang on. Oh, Elizabeth Payne.
Elizabeth. Perfect. When's the last time you chatted with Elizabeth?
On Friday. Because she gets bad migraines. So I said, hi, how are you doing? And she said, pretty good. She said she was in a lot of pain that day with some migraines. And I said, well, what are you taking for them? And she says, no, just prayer works for that. And so I said, if there was some product that would help you alleviate the migraines like it did with mine, would you be interested in taking a look at the information that I have for you? And she said, no.
Cool. You want to know why?
Yeah.
Because you're trying to sell her information. And she just told you before that she's good and that prayer is working for her on her migraines.
Or not. Yeah, not 100%, but yeah, so.
But she didn't say, you know what I'd really like is a whole bunch of information about that.
No, right.
What's happening is you're singularly focused on getting those words out because it's a nice script that you feel comfortable with. And what's missing is the conversation.
Okay.
You're giving her an advertisement.
Okay.
Do you feel that?
Yeah. Yeah. So
a better one would be have the conversation until you hear something on it, and then just simply say, is that something you want fixed? You're over here saying, if I had a product that would be able to do that, where does that lead? That's not where we're going.
Okay.
You just need to, hey, I hear you. That sucks. Sorry you're dealing with that. Would you like to fix that? Then she can say yes, or she can say no. She can, no, I'm good. I got it covered. I've got this prayer thing that I do. It works 30% of the time, and that's good for me.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
Right. So I have to dig deeper than what I'm doing. And more conversation.
Not necessarily deeper. You need to ask a different question, because the questions you're asking are not lining up with what they're giving you. It's like you're having a different conversation because you're in script mode, and they're not getting it. They're not getting that connection.
Okay.
Okay. When we're in Salt Lake City, we're going to do some more on this.
Okay.
And this is gonna be all the difference in the world.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. And read through the comments, because what you just did helped a lot of people on the line.
Okay. Thank you. I haven't read them yet. Yeah. Thanks, Sue.
Yeah,
thanks, everyone. Okay.
All right. Next up. Are y'all getting what I'm putting down right now? The conversation, you're one conversation away. That's what it is. You're one conversation away. And a conversation isn't a script, and it's not an ad. And if you'll be present to what they're telling you when you're in that conversation, and you actually listen to what it is that they are desiring in that conversation, you'll find that you are probably answering, if you're not having the success you're looking for, the very, very hugely high likelihood that you are offering things that they don't have any interest in, because that's how you would operate. That's what sounds good to you. But we need to know what it is that they desire. So this is taking the whole concept and shrinking it down into, when we're having the conversation, find out what it is that they want. In those little micro transactions that you're doing with them, you put a little something out there, they put a little something out there. When they're saying, how you doing? Oh man, my migraines are just crushing me right now. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. How long have you been dealing with that? They tell you how long they've been dealing with it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you. That's painful. I haven't, experienced that, but my best friend, his wife, oh my gosh, it was debilitating. And I could just, she's in a dark room and saying things to be able to make sure they know that you understand where they're coming from as best you can. Even though you might not be experiencing it yourself, you tell a story about how you could relate to that. Not to trump their story, not to take over the conversation, but to let them know you're making a connection with them. For you to do that, there is no way possible that you can have some magical script for that. That's why I say we're one conversation away, because it's a conversation. This is where the human part has to be there. There's no computer, there's no yet that's got the artificial intelligence to be able to go into that situation and do what it is that a human does, which is being able to share that experience with them and show that empathy, make that true connection. And if you just barrel right on through that so that you can hear all the stuff and go through all the steps so that you can get to the thing that you want to say, guess what? They're going to recognize that. I can tell you I am hyper aware to it. Carrie and I were out for lunch yesterday, and the waiter comes up and just instantaneous robot. And this was a pretty nice restaurant. It wasn't, like some crazy, 18-course meal type thing, but it was a decent restaurant. But the guy just had no human connection with me, could have given a shit about what I had going on in the day. Now, I don't need him to come up here and cut my steak for me and feed me the water or anything and put the straw in my mouth. But, dude, there was no connection. And it just kind of went downhill from there, because I could tell he could care. He just didn't, he wasn't present with what was going on. The week before that, the restaurant that we went to, a little nicer restaurant, and it was insane how much fun I had at the restaurant. We're sitting at the chef's table, we're watching him doing all this stuff, and the main guy, the maitre d' guy, is coming in. He's running the place, man. He's getting it done. And he comes over, and it's a true conversation. It's not just him telling us, the same story over and again. You can tell when they're doing that, right? It was truly having a conversation. And then a nice little anecdotal thing to be able to make the connection to what it was that we were talking about. That dude's tip was insane, what I left him. I had so much fun. Food was just as good at both places. Both kitchens had it figured out. And I wouldn't say that the food was better, but it was really good. But the part with the waiter yesterday, when there was no connection there, of just how quick can I get them out of here so I can have the next transaction come in? That's what it was. It was robot voice. It was robot interaction. And it makes a difference. So when you're coming up to somebody and you come on with, oh, well, do you want to fix that? And then here's the thing and how to do all that. When you're doing that right away and not getting there on that connection with them and having a conversation, instead of just going from dot to dot to dot, if you can actually have that conversation and get that connection there, and then truly listen and find out, do they want to fix it? Now you're going to get somewhere. That's all the difference in the world. That's the difference in somebody leaving a tip and not leaving a tip. And again, we're not going at this from a transaction. And I know, good God have mercy, I know, Betty, that you ain't coming at this thing trying to go in here and make money off these people. You're truly wanting to get in here and help. That's why it tears you up when you've got 10 people right now that you're doing this, and they ain't getting there. And where the frustration is it's just the language. And that's what I want to work on with this type of session. That's the type of thing that I want to be able to do, where I'm sitting with you in this dump truck, this proverbial dump truck, and showing you exactly what to do and how to respond. Now, I can't do that when you're out at the grocery store. It's just not going to work that way. You can't say, hold on 1 second, I got to call Casey. Hey, okay, so we're at the grocery store, and this is Rosina, and that's going, that ain't going to work so well. But in this situation, and one of these little fellows right here, you can send that out. So the other thing that can happen is when you send that out, it's like mailing a letter. When you mail the letter, you remember, does anybody remember mailing letters, by the way? When's the last time you actually got a pen, paper, wrote stuff out, put it in an envelope? You do that for a bill and you do a check, but that's the extent of it, and that doesn't happen too much. But if you can remember back then, it would have been kind of weird that you get your envelope, you lick the stamp, you stick it on there, and you walk out to the mailbox, and you flip the little flag up, and you put it in there, and then you just sit there. And you just wait, and you wait. And then the mail truck shows up, picks it up, goes on, you say hi, and then you wait there. About 3 days later, you're still out there, and then all of a sudden it comes back, and then you rip it open, and then you scribble something back, put it back in there, and then wait there. No, you don't do that. Some of you are acting like this is a telephone conversation that you're having on the phone, or you're interacting with them at the grocery store. I got to answer right now. No, you don't. It's a freaking message. It's like a letter. It's like a letter that you just send out there, and then another one comes back, and then you can respond to that one when it gets there. So I want you guys to shift your thinking, and there's like, stop getting impatient that you got to answer this thing right away. Read it, mark it as unread, whatever you got to do so that you don't lose track of it, but get the help of somebody to say, hey, what would I say here? And that's going to be getting in the dump truck with somebody so that we can see what's going on. Okay? All right. Who's up next? Who wants to play? Anybody?
Okay, I'll go again.
Hold on, Mark, before you do, and I appreciate you doing that. I'm going to take you up on that, but
All right.
I want to get some quick feedback. Has everybody sent one out? Has everybody sent a message? Eddie did. Joanne, did you send one out? Brian did. Sent a text. Perfect, Jamie. Thank you.
Working on it.
Work good. Michelle.
Not sure what you're referring to.
Sorry, Rob, you came in just a touch late. So what we're doing is we're going into Messenger and making sure that people are actually, I wanted everybody to actually send a note out to someone that is not in Kyani yet. And I wanted them to go to Messenger or text, whatever is working, but I was talking about using Messenger. And then when you go into Messenger, you see the history of all of the conversations that you've had. And at the bottom of that, there's a little icon with two little avatars and then a number and a plus. And then what you do is click on that, and it'll show you who are the active people in your list. And then just go down that list until you find somebody that is not in your business, and then simply have a conversation with them as if you walked into the grocery store and they were 20 feet away from you. What would you do? Now, here's the deal. Just because they're in that list, there's some people in the grocery store that if I saw them, I am not going to talk to them. I am literally going to duck, and I'm going to turn my cart, and I'm going to turn down the first aisle and get the hell away from them, because they're people I don't choose to interact with. If that's the case, delete them out of your phone. Delete them off of Facebook, unfriend them, block them, get them out of your life, because that's just bad energy that's sitting there that every time you see them in your list, you're going to have some negative stuff go on that there's no need to. So if you see that person in the grocery store and you ain't going to say hi to them, take them off your phone. There's absolutely no point in them being there. Okay?
I'm glad you said that.
So I'm not the type that's going to want to barrel through on that. Talk to everybody. No, I don't want to do business with everybody. I don't like everybody. And there's good reason for it, right? And that's my choice. And so if that's the case, I'm just suggesting that you don't need to say hi to them, but get them out of your phone, because you don't need that negativity in your life. If you're not going to say hi to them at the grocery store, take them out of your phone.
What's your thoughts about keeping them on friends on Facebook?
If I'm not going to say hi to them at the grocery store, I'd remove them.
Okay.
That's me, and I use that. Let me give one caveat. Actually, I'm gonna go back on that. I'm gonna give one caveat. If I am using them as a spy to be able to see information that might be useful, I'd keep them in there. But beyond that, I'd remove them. If I wouldn't say hi to them, but I use them as a spy so that I can see some other things that I want to see, then I've got a benefit of doing that, and I can get past the negativity of that person because I'm gonna get something out of it. I'm good with that. But otherwise, and this, I got that one from Holton Buggs, who $1 million a month earner, right? He said, if you ain't going to send it to them in your phone, what the hell are they doing in your phone? Get them out of there. And it was like, oh, it was cathartic going through it. Just delete, and just these people need to be. Why do I have them in here? It's going to take me more time to get through them to get to the people I want to help. All right. I cannot believe it's already went an hour. Pretty crazy. Something that I want to, I'll save it for the next time. I had quite a few other things I was going to talk about, but I got on a roll on that. What we just did right there, if you will make that a habit, that each day before your head hits the pillow, that you will have 10 people in the grocery store that you're going to say hi to. Imagine what that would be like. And here's the deal. When you go through and you talk to 10 today, tomorrow when you're coming back through and these people happen to be on that list, when you open up the conversation, you see, oh, I just talked to them, go to the next person. You don't need to stick with just 10 right here to do this. Continue that on. Well, Casey, I'm going to get overwhelmed. That's you worrying about stuff that hasn't happened yet. Stop worrying about that. Well, how am I going to deal with all that? Write 10 letters. If 10 people respond, you'll find some time down the road to be able to get back to them, but there's no time clock on this thing. If that is causing you consternation, you need to understand that that is your terrorist. You need to get in touch with what it is that is causing you that anxiety. And if you'd like help with that, I can help you with that. I can walk you through a little exercise. We can do it one-on-one so you don't have to bare your soul to the public. But if you want help with that, I help you with that. So don't get yourself in a pickle on this. But 10, conversation is not hard. And if you'll honestly sit back and really think about it, get in a meditative state, sit on your floor, back against the wall, cross your legs, and just start thinking about it and walk through your day. And just write down the names of the people that you came across, that you saw, that you thought of, that you're on the phone with, or whatever. And just come up with what that list is and see what that number is. I bet you will surprise the heck out of yourself with the number of people that you came across in the intersections of your day, driving your dump truck through your day. And when you were doing that, you're saying, I don't talk to anybody. I don't see anybody. I don't come across anybody. And I mean, to the point where when you're at work, how many people do you make eye contact with? How many people did you actually physically with your eyeball see them? Doesn't mean you had to talk to them, but you saw them. You ran into them. There was an interact. They were in your world. Parking lot, at work, at the grocery store, just think about it. And then I want you to think about it some more about even the ones that you don't know the names of. Well, that was that dude that was wearing the funny pants, and that was a guy, he definitely needed to pull his pants up. And that guy, his hat was on backwards, and that guy was wearing some cool sunglasses. If you just think about through all of that too. And what that's going to do is it's going to start opening your mind, and it's going to get you out of your head, and it's going to get you out into the world. And it's simply, hi, how you doing? Those are some really cool shorts that you got on. That's a badass hat that you're wearing. I really like that purse. Those are really cool shoes. Now, if they're wearing, stupid little flip-flops or something that are terrible, then don't lie to them. Help them out. Hey, have you really thought about those shoes before you left this morning? Whatever works for you, right? But have a conversation with somebody. And it don't be there with, a lot of you will see another human being and you're like, I can't get nothing from this person, so I'm not even going to say hi. Interesting, huh? Why would I say hi to this? I don't even know this person. Well, guess what? Why don't you get to a point where you know this person? It's really easy to see this business start blowing up. It's really easy to see a lot of people just crushing it and going crazy. And it's real easy to get really upset about the fact that that's not happening in your world. And when you get in that way, that means you're in this small little circle and you need to get out of your head and get out into the world, and you need to have some conversations and stop worrying about how quick and all the stuff that's going to happen after. Because you're worrying about all that, you're not doing the thing that's causing all these people that are having success to have success. And what is that? It's a conversation, a true conversation. Because some of y'all are not good at marketing, you're not good at advertising, you're not good at sales, and y'all are out there trying to be all those things. Here's what y'all are all good at. You're good at having conversations with other human beings when there's no agenda. Get back to that. Get back to having a conversation. Don't be out there. Some of you out there, man, you got the 308 lined up, scope. You got the pad here so that when you got them lined up, man, you know range to them. You know how far away they are. You know what the wind was blowing. You made sure you got all the right spray on so they can't spray. You guys are out hunting, man. Y'all are hunting hard. And I want to pull that back and I want to rearrange it. And I want you to get back out there and turn that and put your gun down. And I want you to get you one of them little bitty. I want you to get those. I want Rob to have these when we go on the hike. I want those nice long gloves for gardening. I want to see those. I want some flowers on them. Okay. I want you guys going out there and start gardening. Okay. With a little bitty shovel, with some seeds. I want your big old bonnet hat. And I want y'all to get back into gardening instead of out there hunting. Because Betty, even as much as you are wanting to get out there, I think you're hunting. I think you're hunting and you're going straight to it and you're trying to hit them right over the head with this thing. It says, I am going to fix you. And they're like, I don't want you to shoot me. I don't want that. Okay, so get out there and then find out if it makes sense for them. Have that conversation. Okay? All right. I know this is a little bit of a different power hour, but we're going to do this for a little bit, and I think you're gonna see some pretty neat little changes, and you're going to see a neat little course I'm going to be offering here coming up, and we got some really good stuff coming. I've been in the tank. I have been in the Jade Factory in the back. There's an R&D shed that I'm back in there, and boys and girls, I got some cool stuff that's going to go one more level on this. But no matter what it is I'm making on that automation, if you guys don't get this part nailed down, this choo-choo train is going to just not move. It's just not going to move for you. It's going to be moving all around you. It's going to irritate the crap out of you. So you've got to get this conversation stuff down. And when you get back to it, the cool thing about why our group is so successful is that if you just simply do the conversation thing, everything else sorts itself out. It's been built for that. So don't do the thing that you don't need to be doing. Do the thing that you are supposed to be doing, which is having that conversation and building that rapport and finding out about that person and only asking them if they want to fix it, not explaining how to fix it. You want a product to fix it? No, I don't. I just want it fixed. So just find out you want it fixed, yes or no. Don't embellish on it. Don't change that. That part doesn't need any help. Promise you, I will close them. Promise you, my people will close them. You just find out if they want to be closed. You want to fix that? Yes or no? It is that simple. So stop trying to make it harder. All right. Good stuff, everybody. Cool. If you like this, share this with somebody on the team. I want to up the game, and I want your help in doing that. I want the people to know that the successful people are the ones that are in Power Hour. They're the people that are figuring this out, and they're the people that's doing it. And so mention something, if you don't mind, if this was helpful, mention something in the Power Hour thread. Do it also in the Kyani thread, Kyani local thread, if you got value out of this. And then say what that value was. And when people are seeing that there's value there, there's going to be this thing called FOMO, fear of missing out. And I want that. I want them to know that there's something here that they're not getting, that y'all are getting, and people are going to say, what you doing over there? What's going on? Why are you all excited? What did I miss out on? I want to get their attention. I want to sell them that they need to be here, and I want there to be enough reason for them to be here. I want to solve some problems for them. So if you had anything solved for you tonight, put that out there and let them know the benefit that you got out of tonight. Okay? Awesome. All right. Sorry, I went a little over. We're going to mute the line so y'all can say good night to everybody. And thank you for your participation. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night, John Boy.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks, Casey.
Thank you.